Chapter 21, Prince Qilin is furious and creates a huge situation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A majestic peak, wreathed in clouds and mist, rose before them. From afar, this peak resembled a goat's horn, earning it the name Yangjiao Peak. Beyond it, 1,000 miles ahead, lay Xianjianling. Suddenly, a bizarre creature descended from the sky, landing gracefully atop Yangjiao Peak. It had the head of a lion, antlers of a deer, the eyes of a tiger, the body of an elk, scales of a dragon, and the tail of an ox. Its tail hairs flowed like a dragon's mane, and a single horn, still fleshy, adorned its head. It bore a striking resemblance to the legendary Qilin, a mystical beast of good omen. Upon the creature's back sat a young man in green robes. His smooth, pale face hinted at a sharp, intense nature. His eyes were dark and profound, radiating an inner light that never ceased. One moment, he exuded nobility and grace, making him unforgettable. He was the epitome of a handsome youth, forever raising his cup to the heavens, a jade tree swaying in the wind. This was Ao Hongchen, the most sought-after man in the East Wilderness. But at that moment, Ao Hongchen's face was contorted in anger, his eyes blazing with fury. A nobody who's only been cultivating for a month dares to act like he's worth my time and even taunts my fiancée. That really grinds my gears. He spat. Does Mo Chengcheng really think his innate chaos physique makes him invincible? That his surging anger completely overshadowed Ao Hongchen's beauty, unleashing a power that made the very peak of Yangjiao tremble. He's just a country bumpkin who got lucky, said an old man in gray, stepping forward. He's not worth your anger, your highness. He reached out to soothe the strange beast. Since the end of the age of Immortals, all things related to Immortals had vanished. The Qilin was no exception. This beast, however, possessed Qilin blood and was known as the Strange Blood Qilin. It was the only one of its kind in the entire East Wilderness, perhaps even the Cangxuan Realm. As the totem beast of the Wutu ancient kingdom, it usually remained within the palace, seen only by the royal family. To show their resolve for the coming conflict with Xianjianling, the Lord of Wutu had specifically sent the Strange Blood Qilin along. Old song, it's not just about anger, it's about my reputation. Ao Hongchen retorted, still seething. He narrowed his eyes, a sudden spark of inspiration igniting within him. I'll swallow my anger for now, but I'll unleash it before we reach Xianjianling. Call it a little preemptive training. A cold glint flickered in Ao Hongchen's eyes. But the king's orders. Tsang Lao, the gray-clad old man, cautioned him. You can't delay this. Don't worry, Tsang Lao, Ao Hongchen said, a sinister smile spreading across his face. I won't delay anything important. If I'm lucky, I'll defeat that Tang Chen with a single move, shatter his spirit, and set him back to square one. His dark eyes scanned the landscape, finally settling on a towering palace perched atop a distant peak. It was the Xuanhuan Palace, a vassal of Xianjian Dongtian. Half an hour later, Ao Hongchen, astride the Strange Blood Qilin, departed from the Xuanhuan Palace. As he left, Ao Hongchen's face was filled with disdain. He shouted loudly, the leader of Xuanhuan Palace couldn't even withstand a single one of my moves. In my opinion, Xuanhuan Palace should disband to avoid further embarrassment. His voice, like thunder, reverberated throughout the Xuanhuan Palace. News of the Xuanhuan Palace leader's defeat spread like wildfire, reaching every town and city. That same day, many other vassal forces of Xianjian Dongtian, including the Banlan Ancient Sect, Xiankong Ancient Temple, Feitian Pavilion, and Xingqian Valley, welcomed Ao Hongchen's challenge. Their chief disciples were all defeated, some were seriously injured, others were crippled, and some even died on the spot. So far, Ao Hongchen has challenged 58 forces, using only one move in each battle, and no one has been able to stop him, one observer commented. Ao Hongchen's strength is unbelievable. Have you noticed that Ao Hongchen has challenged all the forces allied with Xianjian Dongtian? Could it be that he intends to fight his way through them all, ultimately crushing Xianjian Dongtian? Right now, I don't think Xianjian Dongtian stands a chance against Ao Hongchen. The entire East Wilderness was abuzz with the news. Ao Hongchen's popularity soared. Xianjian Dongtian was on the hot seat. At Xianjianling, 5 Taoist leaders gathered, their faces grim. They were well aware of Ao Hongchen's actions. Ao Hongchen's sudden burst of notoriety, and his careful accumulation of momentum, his real aim is to shatter Master Zhao's Taoist spirit. One of them said. That snake, not since their prior clash, Qin Wusha had become a devoted fan of Tang Chen. Seeing through Ao Hongchen's scheme, he slammed his fist on the table, his voice cracking with anger. Beside him, Qingrou's face was equally dark. She hadn't expected Ao Hongchen to stoop to such low tactics. Junior sister Yi, what's Master Zhao's status? Qin Wusha asked Qingrou, his voice tight with concern. Ao Hongchen was rapidly approaching Xianjianling. But Tang Chen remained in seclusion. Master Zhao didn't share any details about his retreat, Qingrou replied, shaking her head. He simply asked me not to disturb him. She paused, then added, don't worry. I have a plan to deal with this. The others stared at her, stunned. Qingrou's resolute expression suggested she'd made a serious decision. Just then, a brilliant golden light descended upon Xianjianling, bathing the sky in gold. The clouds parted, revealing a long, golden river. Upon the river rode a Qilin-like creature, its body wreathed in golden light and ancient energy, slowly descending towards Xianjianling. The strange blood Qilin, totem beast of the Wutu ancient kingdom. Someone exclaimed. Ao Hongchen is here. Alert the headmaster. The day has come. A chorus of voices rose in alarm. The mighty Xianjian Dongtian seemed shaken, sitting astride the strange blood Qilin. Ao Hongchen gazed down upon Xianjianling, a sneer twisting his lips. I've heard that Xianjian Dongtian boasts a rich heritage and a solemn reputation, he said. But what a letdown. His words were met with laughter from the large crowd that had gathered to witness the spectacle. Ao Hongchen's followers gleefully echoed his sentiments, creating a cacophony of noise. Satisfied, Ao Hongchen withdrew his gaze, placing one hand behind his back. He extended the other and bellowed. Ao Hongchen summons Tang Chen to his death. Chapter 22, The marriage certificate is voided. Qingrou thanks Tang Chen from afar. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sound waves rolled across the sky. Ao Hongchen descended like a god, landing gracefully before the Xianjian Cave's mountain gate, bathed in golden light and wearing a casual smile. His handsome features and arrogant demeanor stunned the onlookers. So, gorgeous. Is that the most handsome guy in the eastern wasteland? I'm in love. We're ready to abandon our lives and follow you. Ao Hongchen's fangirls screamed, their faces flushed. The scene was utter chaos. Quiet. A cold, commanding voice cut through the noise, though not loud. Its authority was undeniable. The crowd instantly silenced. The voice belonged to Shui Jianjian, though he remained hidden. Ao Hongchen's visit to Xianjian Cave was a personal matter. As a leader, Shui Jianjian could only verbally warn. Intervention risked escalating the situation into a full-blown sect dispute. This was standard practice in the spiritual world. Juniors settled their own disputes, with elders intervening. Only in cases of cheating or overt aggression. I heard Tang Chen awakened his innate chaotic body, formed a golden elixir in 10 days, and reached immortality in one thought. He is unbeatable. But he doesn't even have the guts to show his face. What a letdown. Ao Hongchen taunted, seeing that Tang Chen was still a no-show. Suddenly, a flash of sword light erupted. The light pulsed with intense heat, boiling the air around it. Here it comes. Ao Hongchen was unfazed. He was prepared and confident. Tang Chen is the young master of Xianjian Cave. He's of noble standing. You can't just expect him to show up on demand. Qin Wusha, dressed in gray robes, floated into view, followed by 4 Taoists. Their combined sword energy suppressed Ao Hongchen's aura. Qingrou, the most beautiful woman in the eastern wasteland, truly lives up to her reputation. The most beautiful woman and the most handsome man. A perfect match. A match made in heaven. Who knew such a fairy tale existed in the eastern wasteland? The crowd gazed at Qingrou and then at Ao Hongchen, clearly smitten. Ao Hongchen, basking in the admiration, said to Qingrou, Qingrou, come here. Qingrou remained still, her eyes icy. Ao Hongchen's brow furrowed, but he didn't react. He addressed Qin Wusha directly. Tang Chen may be untouchable, but he used his position to demote his own fiancée to a sword servant. That's outrageous. I come seeking not status, but justice. I want what's right. That his words resonated with many, but before the emotions could simmer, Qingrou retorted, "You're mistaken. I volunteered to become Junior Uncle's sword servant. It's an honor. How could I possibly consider it demeaning?" That her words were sharp, countering Ao Hongchen's slander. "Qingrou, you're my fiancé. I'll protect you. Xianjian Cave must be pressuring you." Ao Hongchen's face hardened, his voice chilling. His future wife was defending another man. Unacceptable. "Fiancé?" Qingrou smiled faintly. The Wu kingdom agreed to the Yi family's marriage proposal only after Ao Hongchen personally approved it. He didn't love Qingrou, he simply believed the most handsome man in the eastern wasteland deserved the most beautiful woman. It was about image. In Ao Hongchen's eyes, Qingrou was a prize to be won. Since serving Junior Uncle, I've found him to be respectful and considerate. Compared to that, you, a so-called fiancé, are terrible. Qingrou had finally seen Ao Hongchen for who he was, the most handsome man in the eastern wasteland. Prince Qilin. All hype. Ao Hongchen was nothing but a spoiled brat. Comparing him to Tang Chen was insulting. Ao Hongchen, stung by her words, snapped, "Tang Chen, step out here so I can expose you." That he would not tolerate his fiancée looking at him like that because of another man. That man had to die. "Junior Master will meet you." Qingrou replied quietly. She stepped forward, facing Ao Hongchen, her expression serious. "Effective today, our engagement is cancelled. We're strangers from now on." Silence descended, the crowd gaped. Ao Hongchen felt like he'd been punched in the gut. His vision blurred. You can't do this. The engagement was your family's choice. You can't break it." Ao Hongchen's voice cracked, he felt utterly humiliated. "From this moment on, Qingrou leaves the Yi family." "Does that qualify me to break the engagement?" Qingrou added. She felt free, as if a weight had lifted. Suddenly, her sword intent began to surge. Initially faint, it grew stronger and stronger, until it shot skyward. The Xianjian Lingshan mountains echoed in response. An ice crystal longsword enveloped in a cold light emerged from the mountain's depths and materialized before Qingrou. A blinding light erupted. All other swords, except the Thunder Holy Sword and the Red Sun Holy Sword, hummed in submission. The Xianbing Holy Sword. She's been recognized by it. How? What's happening? The crowd buzzed. Even Qingrou was stunned. Gaining the Holy Sword's approval had been her lifelong dream, and it was now a reality. The Xianbing Holy Sword seemed to sense her emotions, gently resting against her. The cold sword light softened, body and sword became one. Qingrou looked down at the Xianbing Holy Sword and suddenly understood. Tang Chen had orchestrated everything. Without his encouragement, she wouldn't have broken the engagement. Without ending the engagement, she wouldn't have solidified her sword intent. Without that sword intent, the Xianbing Holy Sword wouldn't have recognized her. Everything was under Tang Chen's control. "Thank you for your guidance, Junior Master. I'm eternally grateful." Tears of joy streamed down her face. Turning towards Xianling Dao Palace, she thanked Tang Chen from afar. Chapter 23. Ao Hongchen fights Qin Wusha angrily, and everyone prays that Tang Chen will come out of. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qingrou was completely fixated on Tang Chen's powerful presence. His name was now etched into her heart, impossible to forget. He was a beacon of hope, not only illuminating her previously dismal life but also empowering her to forge her own path. All thanks to him. So, it was Junior Master who helped senior sister Yi gain the Holy Sword's recognition. One Xianjian Dongtian disciple exclaimed. Junior Master is truly a god. He can even inspire senior sister Yi from afar, without ever meeting her. This Qilin Emperor is nothing compared to Junior Master. The Xianjian Dongtian disciples erupted in cheers. Remote enlightenment, that was legendary. And they were witnessing it firsthand. In a secluded corner, Shui Jianzhen, Patriarch Chen Yang, and others watched. relief washing over their faces. Xuanhuan remarked, having a junior brother like him is a true blessing for Xianjian Dongtian. Everyone wholeheartedly agreed. Patriarch Chun Yang puffed out his chest, beaming with pride. Did you forget who taught him? You pathetic excuse for a man, you coward. Ao Hongchen finally snapped. Qingrou had not only broken their engagement publicly for Tang Chen but was also willing to leave the Yi family for him. Now, she was practically worshipping Tang Chen from afar, her eyes filled with affection. Ao Hongchen seethed, this isn't just getting played. It's a full-blown humiliation. Watch your mouth, Ao Hongchen. Qin Wusha snapped, the crowd's perception of Ao Hongchen shifted. The admiration had vanished, replaced by a hint of disdain. Even his followers seemed to share this sentiment. Since Tang Chen is too afraid to show his face, forget him. I challenge you to a fight. Do you accept? Ao Hongchen challenged Qin Wusha coldly, overwhelmed by rage. He needed to vent. He wanted to crush Xianjian Dongtian's pride and make Qingrou regret her decision. Bring it on. Qin Wusha met Ao Hongchen's gaze, his own power surging. Instantly, wings of ice and fire materialized, radiating an invincible aura. Above him, the crimson sun blazed, its intense heat forcing the crowd to retreat. Ao Hongchen sneered. A wave of noble energy emanated from him, golden light shimmering like scales, coating his skin and solidifying into a set of Qilin armor, emanating an ancient and immense power. Ice and fire Dao body Qin Wusha. Kirin Emperor Ao Hongchen. The two best from the younger generation are finally colliding. Amidst the crowd's gasps, Ao Hongchen launched the first attack. His punch materialized a Qilin phantom in the sky, roaring at Qin Wusha. Cut! Qin Wusha channeled his energy into a sword strike. It was a drawing sword technique. The sword's light and the Qilin phantom collided, creating a shockwave that tore through space. Qin Wusha stumbled backward. Ao Hongchen remained unmoved in the void. In their first exchange, Qin Wusha was already at a disadvantage. Both use holy methods, but Ao Hongchen has achieved unity, integrating all methods into one, allowing him to better utilize the essence of the holy methods. Xuanhuan observed, frowning. This battle was proving more challenging than he had anticipated. Kill! Qin Wusha unleashed his full spiritual power and charged at Ao Hongchen again. This strike was devastating. It combined the power of the ice and fire body, the mystery of the yin and yang double pupils, and the force of the drawing sword technique. The three combined seamlessly. Is this your strongest attack? Ao Hongchen feigned disdain, but his mind was laser-focused. He channeled all his energy. The golden Qilin armor trembled, becoming more solid and brilliant, eventually materializing into a true form. Qilin destroys the world. Ao Hongchen transformed into an ancient Qilin. His roar shook the world. Qin Wusha's full power sword weakened. When it collided with Ao Hongchen's fist, it shattered into nothingness. Not good. Qin Wusha gasped. Before he could react, Ao Hongchen's fist struck him squarely in the chest. Blood spurted from Qin Wusha's mouth. He plummeted from the sky, crashing into several distant peaks before finally stopping. He was utterly defeated. He's been defeated. The Xianjian Dongtian disciples were crushed. Ao Hongchen was too powerful. He defeated Qin Wusha with just 2 attacks. It was hard for them to accept. I'm afraid even Junior Master can't withstand such power. Where is Junior Master? Someone get him. The ancient Qilin is invincible. Did Junior Master really defeat Ao Hongchen before? Junior Master barely won 3 days ago. Now, facing a stronger Ao Hongchen, it will be hard for him to win. The disciples were demoralized. Ao Hongchen's strength was overwhelming. Ao Hongchen felt a surge of relief and invigoration. He was the apex predator, looking down on everyone. Qin Wusha, your ice and fire body is nothing. The Xianjian in the sky is easily crushed. Ao Hongchen declared, waving his hand, his arrogance boundless. He even glanced deliberately at Xuanhuan and the others, reveling in his dominance. nearby, Shui Jianzhen was furious. He gritted his teeth. Where is my junior brother? Is he still in seclusion in the Xianling Dao Palace? Qin Wusha had fallen, and no one else could stop Ao Hongchen. Now, he placed his hopes on Tang Chen. Probably still in retreat, Ancestor Chunyang sighed. A cultivator's retreat was paramount and should never be interrupted. Otherwise, Ancestor Chunyang would have already gone to Tang Chen. I heard Qin Wusha was defeated by Tang Chen a few days ago. I was so hopeful, but it turned out he didn't even have the courage to show up. Ao Hongchen taunted. He scanned the crowd, sneering, or go and fetch him for me. I promise not to kill him. Laughter erupted. The Xianjian Dongtian disciples were enraged, wishing they could tear Ao Hongchen apart. But no one dared. Even Qin Wusha was defeated. Their defiance would only fuel Ao Hongchen's arrogance and further humiliate Xianjian Dongtian. Damn it, is there really nothing we can do? Uncle Junior Master, please come out quickly. We need you. Uncle Junior, please help us. Everyone closed their eyes and prayed silently, as if answering their prayers. A silver-gray light shot from the Xianling Dao Palace, rushing toward them. The light struck the ground, creating a cloud of dust. Chapter 24, Tuntun pretends to be a pig and eats the tiger. The Taoist magic and the stars condense. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is Tang Chen out of his retreat yet? Everyone got excited and looked over, hoping to see him, but all they saw was a cute little critter with sapphire blue eyes. It had 4 snow-white hooves and was covered in black fur. Just an adorable little thing. Tuntun, that Qingrou was surprised. The other Taoists were just as stunned. They all recognized it as Tang Chen's pet. Ao Hongchen burst out laughing. What's this supposed to be? Is Tang Chen sending out his pet as a sacrifice? That he found it hilarious. He was laughing so hard his sides hurt. Even the blood unicorn was chuckling like a human. It looked down from way up high, its dragon eyes full of disdain for Tuntun. Woof woof. Tuntun met the blood unicorn's gaze. It immediately got scared, lowered its head, hunched its shoulders, and looked utterly terrified and helpless. This just made Ao Hongchen even more sarcastic. Even the blood unicorn was unimpressed. This spirit beast was just too weak. It wouldn't even be good enough to guard the gate. All around, the crowd was amused. They'd never seen such a pathetic spirit beast before. Why did Tuntun run out? Isn't this just a joke? Is Tang Chen really offering up his pet to show he's giving up, like Ao Hongchen said? I thought there'd be a real fight, but this is just boring. That the chatter filled the air. People were looking down on him. Junior sister Yi, what's junior uncle trying to do? Hearing all the ridicule, Qin Wusha couldn't help but ask Yi Qingrou. Yi Qingrou shook her head. She was just as confused, but something felt off. From taking care of Tuntun these past few days, she knew it wasn't usually so timid. Something was different about Tuntun now. Suddenly, Tuntun started walking forward. It was shaking all over. Its eyes were trembling. Each step looked so weak and helpless, it made you want to feel sorry for it. Tang Chen, you're really heartless. You're sacrificing a cute little thing just to avoid a beating. Ao Hongchen sneered, looking at Xianling Dao Palace with contempt. He didn't even glance at Tuntun, but he definitely wasn't going to let Tuntun off the hook. He winked at the blood unicorn. In an instant, the blood unicorn charged forward, tearing through the air with a deafening sonic boom. Its mouth was wide open, ready to swallow Tuntun whole. No. Yi Qingrou's expression changed drastically. Qin Wusha, Jian Wushuang, and the others looked worried too, but they were too far away, and with the blood unicorn's sudden attack, it was too late to do anything. Boom. A huge red light exploded. The light was so bright no one could look at it directly. Ao Hongchen, who had been smirking, suddenly looked shocked. This red light was strange, and it didn't seem to be coming from the blood unicorn. Roar! A deafening roar came from inside the red light. Then, everyone was shocked to see a massive beast appear in the light, easily dozens of feet tall. It was covered in red scales and had blood-red eyes that looked like they were burning with eternal fire. Inside its open mouth, a faint black light flickered, like it could swallow anything. Compared to it, the once mighty blood unicorn looked puny. Its powerful aura vanished instantly. It was trembling all over. Is that Tuntun? Yi Qingrou covered her mouth, unable to believe her eyes. if she hadn't seen it herself, she never would have believed this monster was the same Tuntun who was always lazing around, eating, drinking, and pooping. Its cultivation is so high, it's already at the 9th level of Wanfa. Qin Wusha was shocked too. Little Master said Tuntun was still growing. Yi Qingrou said, her voice cold. Everyone was stunned again. A spirit beast that was still growing had already reached the 9th level of Wanfa. How powerful would it be when it matured? Roar! But while everyone was speechless, Tuntun roared again. Then, everyone saw Tuntun suddenly open its mouth and swallow the blood unicorn in one gulp. It was unbelievable. The blood unicorn wasn't as big as Tuntun, but it was still several meters tall and weighed thousands of pounds, but Tuntun just swallowed it whole, without even chewing. The only blood unicorn in the Cangxuan Realm was gone. It was eaten. Holy crap, this spirit beast knows how to play possum. Someone in the crowd said it. Suddenly, everyone understood, this beast's cultivation was at the ridiculously high 9th level of Wanfa, but when it first appeared, it pretended to be weak and didn't give off any powerful aura. Then, when the blood unicorn attacked, it revealed its true form and swallowed it whole. If that wasn't playing possum, what was? That little beast even fooled me. Patriarch Chun Yang smiled wryly. It wasn't that he was careless, it's just that Tuntun was a really good actor. If it were on Earth, it would win an Oscar for sure. I'm going to kill you. Ao Hongchen finally snapped out of it, roaring. His eyes turned bloodshot, and all the spirits in his body exploded, transforming him into an ancient Qilin. The blood Qilin was the totem of the ancient kingdom of Wu Tuesday. Now that its totem had been eaten, Wu Tu had lost all face, but the worst part was, there was only one blood Qilin, and now it was gone. The ancient kingdom of Wu Tu was screwed. Ao Hongchen was furious, his killing intent palpable. He was several times more powerful than when he defeated Qin Wusha. Die. Ao Hongchen prepared to unleash a fatal attack, but just then, a colorful beam of light descended from the sky above Xianling Dao Palace. An incredibly mysterious Taoist aura filled the world. Everyone was drawn to it, even Ao Hongchen, who was about to attack, held back. Countless spiritual energies swirled and converged, forming a star in the sky. The star shone with 9 colors, radiating the aura of the great Tao. A Taoism star, that's a Taoism star, Patriarch Chunyang exclaimed. Master, what's a Taoism star? Blood Sword True Man asked. Confused, everyone looked at Patriarch Chunyang, wanting to know. Patriarch Chunyang stared and explained, in ancient language, there are 3,000 Taos and 10,000 methods. Each Taoism star represents a Tao. Only those who resonate with the Tao are qualified to form a Taoism star. Buzz buzz buzz, as Patriarch Chunyang explained, more and more Taoism stars appeared in the sky and earth were filled with colorful lights. The number of Taoist stars is exactly 10,000, no more, no less. Does this mean that someone has resonated with all 10,000 Taoist methods? Just as he finished speaking, another strange phenomenon appeared. The 10,000 Taoist stars in the sky gathered at an incredible speed, forming a 9-colored star bridge stretching across the sky and earth. At the start of the bridge, within the Xianling Dao Palace, a figure slowly began to walk up. Chapter 25 The most handsome man in Cangxuan Realm. Ao Hongchen feels ashamed of himself. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In that massive world, almost 100,000 pairs of eyes, like rivers flowing to the sea, focused on the figure stepping onto the long bridge. Dressed in white, he was more stunning than fresh snow. Surrounded by a faint, ethereal glow, he moved lightly across the star bridge, looking like an immortal who had descended to earth. His skin was like fresh snow, and his features were so perfect they seemed unreal. His long, black hair cascaded like a waterfall, each strand shimmering as if crafted from jade. Everyone was speechless. Was this an angel fallen from heaven? How else could someone be so breathtakingly handsome? Everything went silent. Every woman, young and old, held her breath. Even those who had seen Tang Chen back at Shenzhen Holy Land were finding it hard to breathe. Tang Chen's looks were even more striking, and his aura had only intensified. One glance was enough to make you look away, but another glance could make you fall hopelessly in love. I'd die 1,000 deaths just to see him once. He's too gorgeous. I've never seen anyone so handsome. Not even Ao Hongchen comes close. He's the most beautiful man in the East Wilderness, maybe even the entire Cangxuan Realm. I've made up my mind. I'm joining Xianjian Holy Land, just so I can see Master Yu every day. Tang Chen, soar high and free. We're ready to follow you forever. Admiration echoed through the air. Some of Ao Hongchen's fans switched sides immediately, declaring their allegiance to Tang Chen. Some even vowed to join Xianjian Holy Land, shouting Master Yu's name at the top of their lungs. Ao Hongchen was furious. What about loyalty? These people were ditching him left and right. They swore they'd be fans for life when they were following him. Such fickle people. Despite his inner turmoil, Ao Hongchen couldn't help but be awestruck as he looked at Tang Chen. The man was genuinely too gorgeous. His appearance and his presence were perfect. Even Ao Hongchen, the most beautiful man in the East Wilderness, couldn't help but feel deeply inferior. I get it. Patriarch Chunyang's eyes lit up. Tang Chen is shattering the chains of the myriad laws, mastering them all in a single day. The myriad laws realm is all about understanding the way. Once someone enters it, they spend years studying and seeking the true meaning of these laws. When a cultivator can instantly understand the essence of these laws, they have mastered the myriad laws realm. Everything then becomes one, and they officially ascend to the return to one level. To grasp all the laws in a single day, that's insane. An elder of Xianjian Holy Land exclaimed. He was also in the myriad laws realm and knew how difficult it was to grasp even one of them. Here was Tang Chen, understanding them all in a day. It was mind-blowing. He dares to dream big, and he dares to act. Is this what makes Junior Brother so captivating? Blood Sword Master laughed, a sense of pride welling up inside him. He stepped forward, instinctively protecting Tang Chen. The leaders of their sect did the same, their eyes watchful, especially of Ao Hongchen. Several of them surrounded him, sealing him in with a double perimeter. Ao Hongchen scoffed. I'm too important to stoop to such a low trick. Besides, this is getting interesting. It'll help kill the boredom. He sounded relaxed, but in reality, Ao Hongchen was serious. He watched Tang Chen climb the star bridge, step by step. With each step, the star bridge grew brighter. The sound of enlightenment chimed, reverberating across the sky. It seemed as if all the Tao stars were eager to resonate with him. Plus, the aura radiating from Tang Chen was incredible. Even Ao Hongchen, who was in the return to one realm, felt the pressure. Patriarch Chunyang said Tang Chen is trying to break through the myriad laws, which means he's at the 9th level of the Golden Core. Can someone at the Golden Core level really have this kind of presence? Are you kidding me? Ao Hongchen suddenly panicked. When he looked back at Tang Chen had already taken the last step. At the end of the star bridge, a halo hung in the air. It was in the center of heaven and earth, as if it represented the great Tao itself. Buzz, star. Tang Chen reached out and touched it. Instantly, the 9-aperture golden core in his dantian flew out and disintegrated into 1,000 pieces. These pieces sank into the halo, each bathed in a 9-colored light. The lights intertwined, finally forming a magnificent star palace that settled deep within Tang Chen's dantian. He did it. Patriarch Chunyang's voice trembled slightly. When ordinary warriors enter the myriad laws realm, their golden core transforms into a spirit palace, but Tang Chen had created a star palace. Each ray of starlight within it represented a Tao star. He had gathered all the stars of the myriad laws into one place. This meant Tang Chen wouldn't have to study the Tao in the future or try to understand its essence. As long as he had the resources, he could keep leveling up. How is that even possible? Ao Hongchen was stunned. When he entered the myriad laws realm, he spent years and countless hardships before he could successfully grasp the essence of the Tao. In fact, the reason he had made it to the return to one realm was thanks to the national destiny of the Wu-Tu ancient kingdom. But Tang Chen had done it all in one day. The whole thing was as simple as eating or drinking. Compared to Tang Chen, Ao Hongchen was nothing. He wasn't even worthy of comparison. This kid can't be beaten. Maybe I should just leave now. The more Ao Hongchen watched, the more agitated he became. Finally, he hung his head in shame. A crack formed in his Tao heart. It could shatter at any moment. Chapter 26. A bold idea. Why don't you shout? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Focus. The desperate situation made Ao Hongchen's mind reel. then a raspy voice cut through the haze. Ao Hongchen felt a surge of strength, his crumbling resolve suddenly solidified. That was close. Ao Hongchen was shaken, he had been drawn in just by staring at Tang Chen, the implications were terrifying. He was even more dangerous than his older brother, Ao Hongchen. This guy is no joke. Defeating him won't just be a victory over Shenzhen, it'll forge an unbreakable spirit. That's what you need to contend for the immortal throne alongside your brother. The raspy voice continued, it was the old man who had been shadowing Ao Hongchen, a true powerhouse acting as his protector. Formally, he stayed out of sight, letting Ao Hongchen handle things himself, but when Ao Hongchen's life was on the line, or he got stuck in a situation he couldn't escape, the old man stepped in. Ao Hongchen had almost lost his nerve. If the old man hadn't intervened, he might have lost before the fight even began. Thank you, old man. Ao Hongchen felt a surge of gratitude. His greatest ambition was to catch up to his brother, Ao Hongchen, and battle for the legendary immortal throne together. This was his chance. Defeating Tang Chen would put him on the path to achieving his dream. Buzz. Up above, the Rainbow Star Bridge vanished. Tang Chen descended from the sky, landing just outside the mountain gate. The mysterious sword immortal technique really is something special. It not only propelled me into the 10,000 Dharma realm, but it also allowed me to grasp the essence of all dharmas. From here on out, I can hit the realm of unity just by steadily practicing. Tang Chen stared at the brilliant star palace deep within the field, feeling deeply satisfied. He was now at the first level of all dharmas, yet, he felt powerful enough to crush Qin Wusha, even though he was at the 9th level of 10,000 dharmas, with a single strike. He felt his perspective had broadened significantly. Even without using the Wu De sword heart, he could easily grasp the essence of swordsmanship. Tao light swirled around him, he was practically touching the way of heaven. He engraved it. Tang Chen touched down, before he could even settle. Tuntun, back in its larval form, rushed over, practically leaping into Tang Chen's arms. Good job, little guy. Tang Chen ruffled Tuntun's head, smiling. Though Tang Chen had been in seclusion, he'd seen everything that happened. Since he couldn't intervene directly while breaking through, he'd sent Tuntun out to buy him some time. It had been the right call, the timing was perfect. Tuntun is maturing and his appetite is just growing larger and larger. He devoured a 10,000-pound heterogeneous unicorn without even a burp. If he keeps this up, he's going to eat me out of house and home. Is it possible that the system of all heavens and worlds can't support Tuntun, so they foisted this thing on him? I heard that after a pet is neutered, its food intake will decrease significantly. It seems that it is necessary to put this matter on the agenda. Tang Chen gazed at Tuntun in his arms, lost in thought. He wasn't thinking about this just because he was eating alone, it's really for the sake of swallowing. The way my junior uncle holds his spiritual pet is so heartwarming. He must be thinking about how to reward this little guy. It makes my heart beat. My uncle is not only handsome, but also so caring. He is the perfect love in my heart. I really want to become that spiritual pet, so that I can sit in my little uncle's arms and enjoy his gentle love every day. In the group, a group of female brothers screamed. They also wanted to scream and be killed by Tang Chen touching their heads. Congratulations on coming out of seclusion, junior uncle. Yi Qingrou stepped forward gracefully, her beautiful eyes shone with divine light. Congratulations on coming out of seclusion, junior uncle. The other disciples also offered their congratulations. A wave of cheers echoed across the mountains. The usually grim faces of the Shenzhen disciples had been replaced by excitement. Tang Chen was their anchor. As long as he was there, everything would be alright. Master. Seeing Ancestor Chunyang approach, Tang Chen bowed respectfully. Ancestor Chunyang was pleased to see Tang Chen's humility and respect. Now that you've grasped the essence of all dharmas, I am very satisfied with this as a teacher. How confident are you about the upcoming battle? He glanced at Ao Hongchen as he spoke. He despised the arrogant junior. He would be delighted if Tang Chen could help him vent his anger. However, he wouldn't force Tang Chen if he wasn't confident. Tang Chen's safety was paramount to Ancestor Chunyang. Losing face was irrelevant compared to the well-being of his best disciple. Master, don't worry. Leave this to me. Tang Chen smiled. He stepped forward. Countless golden runes danced in the depths of his dark eyes. Ao Hongchen's details appeared. Ao Hongchen, 7th Prince of the Wutu Ancient Kingdom, 1st level of Unity Realm. Refined 90% of the Qilin blood. Hidden Biming Holy Armor. Wields the Bloodtooth Holy Gloves. Mastered the Qilin Taoist Canon and the Great Wilderness Killing Technique. 2 holy weapons and 2 partially mastered holy methods. This Ao Hongchen is quite capable. Wait, he hasn't fully refined the Qilin blood. I heard that this stuff is extremely precious, even better than the Xianjian immortal blood. As he murmured to himself, Tang Chen conceived a daring idea. Tang Chen, you finally decided to show up. Feeling Tang Chen's gaze, Ao Hongchen felt a chill, as if he were prey caught in the hunter's sights. He unleashed a surge of battle spirit, a storm directed at Tang Chen. Tang Chen waved his hand, dispersing the killing intent. If you want to fight, fight. Stop talking nonsense. Fine. Ao Hongchen's eyes blazed, surging spiritual power erupted as he threw a punch. The violent fist formed a divine Qilin, roaring and displaying the power of an ancient celestial beast, charging at Tang Chen. This was his ultimate move, a fusion of the Great Wilderness Killing Technique and the Qilin Dao Canon. This one punch had defeated Qin Wusha. Tang Chen remained calm. As the fist hurtled towards him, he finally moved. He extended a finger, and pure spiritual power formed a gigantic pillar that effortlessly crushed the Qilin fist, but that wasn't all. After shattering the fist, the pillar continued on, hurtling towards Ao Hongchen. Humph! Ao Hongchen growled and threw another punch, barely managing to deflect the pillar. Is that all you've got? Tang Chen raised an eyebrow at Ao Hongchen's words. Are you showing off in front of me? Tang Chen was the protagonist of this story. For a supporting character like Ao Hongchen to try and steal his thunder was simply unacceptable. What would other transmigrators think? Would readers be happy? What are you waiting for? Keep going. Seeing Tang Chen silent, Ao Hongchen assumed he was scared and puffed out his chest, arrogant as could be. Tang Chen chuckled inwardly, watching Ao Hongchen's display of arrogance. Pathetic. He raised his wrist, and the Tianqing Palace unleashed a 1,000-foot-long ray of rosy light. The pillar grew exponentially. Tang Chen pressed down with his finger, bang. Like a falling meteor, Xianjian Mountain trembled. Ao Hongchen screamed as he was crushed into the earth, blood splattered, and bones cracked. Ao Hongchen, who had been so loud just moments before, lay like a dog in a pit, clutching his chest, his face pale with disbelief. Why aren't you shouting anymore? Silence descended. Tang Chen stood with his hands behind his back, his voice devoid of emotion. Chapter 27, 2 fingers shatter mountains and rivers, and the beating is still beating. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 27, 2 fingers shatter the river, hang on or let go. The pothole was a good 3 feet deep, choked with dust and smoke. Raw spiritual power churned so violently, most folks were too spooked to even get close. Ao Hongchen lay sprawled out, hair a mess, face bloody, a stark contrast to Tang Chen's cool demeanor. He's so dreamy. That's the presence of a god. Why did I have to see a man like that? What am I gonna do if I never see him again? I'd rather be a spinster than marry anyone but Tang Chen. A beat of silence. Then the place exploded with squeals from the women, and plenty of the guys there were just as impressed, but don't get the wrong idea. They were just blown away by Tang Chen's power. He crushed Ao Hongchen with a single finger. A display like that had everyone wanting a piece of the action. Down in the hole, Ao Hongchen's face was a train wreck. Tang Chen's killer moves had totally stolen his thunder. Now, everyone was chanting Tang Chen's name. All the hype he'd built up had just become a platform for Tang Chen. No way. I can't lose. I gotta catch up to my big brother. Ao Hongchen sucked in a deep breath. A nasty power started to bubble up from his hands. As it spread, Ao Hongchen's aura surged, his whole body lighting up blood red. So, he's finally pulling out the big guns. Tang Chen gave a slight smile. That crimson glow was coming from the Blood Fang Holy Fist gloves. Hearing that, Ao Hongchen looked like he'd seen a ghost. He'd scored the Blood Fang Holy gloves from a secret stash and never even used them. How could Tang Chen know about them? That was just the freakiness of Tang Chen's all-seeing eyes. Even before opening them, he'd had a good read on that right hand. no matter how well hidden a trump card was, it was always a safe bet he'd know it. Just tossing out a guess, and you're already freaking out. That's pretty weak, don't you think? Tang Chen grinned again, but this time, it was more of a sneer. Shut your mouth, Ao Hongchen, stung right where it hurt, lost it. I'm gonna kill you with this, he said it, and then Ao Hongchen transformed into an ancient Qilin, the Qilin blood in him blazed with 1,000 crimson lights, and power flooded out like a tidal wave. That's one nasty vibe. Is this the real Ao Hongchen? He's like, 10 times stronger than before. His aura is so intense, it's like a real Qilin just walked in. Just looking at him makes me want to run for the hills. Feeling the crushing force of Ao Hongchen's new form, people were shaking in their boots. Qin Wusha was practically in shock. If Ao Hongchen had pulled this move on him, he'd be worm food. Roar. Ao Hongchen, now an ancient Qilin, leaped into the air, scales ripped through the air, and his eyes burned like dragon fire. A massive hoof came crashing down towards Tang Chen. Everywhere it went, the air itself was cracking. Little Uncle, Yi Qingqing and the other Xianjian Dongtian disciples were sweating bullets. That attack was unstoppable, just the energy rolling off of it was choking them. Back further, Shui Jianjin and ancestor Chunyang exchanged a glance, both looking tense. They had total faith in Tang Chen, but if things went south, they were ready to jump in. Die! Ao Hongchen, smelling victory, roared out the kill shot, but Tang Chen still looked as cool as a cucumber. Wisps of Hongmeng air started to drift out from him. In a heartbeat, it had blanketed an area around him. I say, shatter! The words had barely left his mouth when the air exploded. Ao Hongchen felt an unstoppable force of the universe just swallow him whole. The hoof that had been hurtling down froze in mid-air. Then, inch by inch, it started to crumble. Finally, it exploded into fragments that rained down on everyone. What? Ao Hongchen let out a cry of disbelief. Just then, Tang Chen, in his white robes, appeared right in front of him. Tang Chen slowly raised his hand. Behind him, raw spiritual power gathered, towering between heaven and earth, like it could punch through the sky. What kind of move is that? Someone blurted out. There were some heavy hitters in that crowd, folks who knew their stuff. They'd seen plenty of holy techniques, but right then, they couldn't make heads or tails of the move Tang Chen was showing. It was even more powerful than any holy technique. 2 fingers shatter the river. The words dropped. Tang Chen pointed his middle finger, looking like a god, with 1 finger of doom. The river shattered. Seeing that, Ao Hongchen knew he couldn't dodge, so he just threw a punch and braced himself. Boom. Fists and fingers collided, like 2 asteroids smashing together. The leftover spiritual power rippled out, blasting everything in all directions. Hold! Shui Jianjin thought fast, turning his spiritual power into a shield to protect the Xianjian Dongtian disciples. The onlookers weren't so lucky, even just the shockwave was enough to send them flying, bodies slamming and breaking. Thud. A muffled sound cracked through the air. Everyone looked around and saw a figure tumbling backwards, slamming hard into a wall way off in the distance. It was Ao Hongchen. No doubt, his eyes were bugging out, and his face was a mask of shock. His arm hung uselessly, blood pouring out and splattering on the ground. Underneath the damage, a dark blue undershirt had appeared on Ao Hongchen. It was glowing, pumping energy into Ao Hongchen's body, cradling his arm and trying to heal him. The Baiming Holy Armor is kicking in. Ao Hongchen's heart sank. The Baiming Holy Armor was a super rare defensive artifact, carefully forged by the Lord of Wu Tuesday. Whenever Ao Hongchen was in mortal danger, it would kick in to save his hide. If it wasn't for the Baiming Holy Armor, Ao Hongchen would be in way worse shape than just a busted arm. And Tang Chen? He was just standing there, cool as could be, 1 hand behind his back. His white robes were spotless, and he looked totally untouched by the world, like the whole fight was no big deal. He was just enjoying a nice afternoon. Little Master is too damn strong. Yi Qingrou looked at Tang Chen, awed and emotional. To her, Ao Hongchen had been this untouchable genius, the best of the best in the East Wilderness, but after going up against Tang Chen, he was just another chump. So what if he'd mastered 2 holy techniques, had Qilin blood, and packed a pair of holy weapons? He was still getting his ass handed to him. Everyone there was thinking the same thing. Genius didn't even begin to cover it when it came to Tang Chen. He was practically a god. As long as Tang Chen didn't screw up, he was going to become an immortal, no doubt about it, not even the curse of the fallen immortal era could hold him back. Note, I am the author of the book Braised Turtle. Thank you very much for your support. I hope you can give me a 5-star rating, which is the greatest encouragement to me. By the way, I will read the comments every day. If you have any opinions or requests for roles, please leave a message. Chapter 28 The Peerless Swordsman descends upon the earth, and Ao Hongchen's heart collapses. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 28 The Sword Saint descends, Ao Hongchen crumbles. Shut up. Shut up. All the praise for Tang Chen made Ao Hongchen's face drain of color. He shouted, voice cracking, it's not over. I haven't lost yet. Still haven't lost, huh? Qin Wusha scoffed. Jian Wuxuang stepped forward, adding, without that holy armor, you'd be out cold by now. You should just be grateful. The crowd murmured in agreement, forget the North Sea holy armor. Throughout the entire fight, Tang Chen had completely dominated Ao Hongchen. He never stood a chance. If that's not losing, what is? They say Tang Chen's a natural with a sword. Once he awakened his sword heart, he had a sudden enlightenment, and the rumors took off. But he hasn't even used a single sword technique. Ao Hongchen's eyes widened as he stared at Xianjian Cave Heaven, ranting, I don't believe he's Tang Chen at all. You must have found some stand-in. His words were becoming incoherent, he seemed to be losing it. Suddenly, the old man's voice echoed in Ao Hongchen's mind, focus. But Ao Hongchen ignored him, his eyes bloodshot, looking as wrecked as could be. Hongchen's mind is about to shatter. Song Lao realized things were going south fast. Cultivation is a tough road. If someone's resolve crumbles, their path to progress is basically cut off. Right now, Ao Hongchen was teetering on that edge. Song Lao prepared to intervene, but then, a clear, resonant voice filled the air. An old saying, treat every guest with respect. Since Prince Qilin wants to witness an immortal technique, then fine, I'll oblige you. As soon as the words were out, the air vibrated with the hum of a blade. A black longsword materialized in Tang Chen's hand, the sword flashed, a searing light bloomed, illuminating the sky, slicing through the clouds and tearing open the heavens themselves. It was as if only the sword remained in the entire universe, pure, unadulterated sword. Witnessing this, the crowd was awestruck, bowing to Tang Chen. Tang Chen, wielding the black mysterious immortal sword, stood as a peerless sword saint, his blade banishing all darkness. Ha ha ha, finally. Ao Hongchen rejoiced and threw a desperate punch, but the Qilin phantom he conjured was sliced in two upon contact with the sword's light. The light continued on, untouched. Beiming holy armor, protect me. Panic gripped Ao Hongchen, he gave up any pretense of fighting back, pouring all his power into the beiming holy armor, hunkering down like a turtle. Clang. The sword light crashed against the beiming holy armor, held back for a moment. Ao Hongchen exhaled, relieved. Thank heavens for the beiming holy armor, or I'd be in real trouble. But before he could finish, Tang Chen's voice drifted to his ears, looks like you celebrated too soon. Crack, 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 a series of crisp shattering sounds came from the beiming holy armor. Cracks spiderwebbed across its surface. The once shimmering armor faded at an alarming rate. If you listened closely, you could even hear a faint wail. The beiming holy armor was mourning. No, this can't be. Ao Hongchen was stunned. Before he could react, the beiming holy armor went completely dark. The sword light swept through, piercing Ao Hongchen's chest. One of his arms was severed. A spray of hot blood arced through the air. Ah! Ao Hongchen's eyes were bloodshot as he screamed to the heavens. The high and mighty prince of Qilin, who had lived a pampered, unchallenged life, now, his arm was gone. Is that the legendary immortal technique? It's so insane that even a holy armor can't stop it. Ao Hongchen got his arm lopped off even with that holy armor. Without it, he'd be done for. He'd have been a goner a long time ago without it. And now, he got his wish and saw the immortal technique, only to get utterly crushed. That's not right. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have gotten a glimpse of the power of immortal arts. Ao Hongchen's blood stained the sky red, the crowd went wild. A chorus of voices rose, praising the heaven-destroying sword technique and mocking Ao Hongchen's folly. the words reached Ao Hongchen's ears, his eyes glazed over. He stared blankly at Tang Chen, muttering, I lost completely. Snap! Ao Hongchen's heart shattered, the name Tang Chen became burned into his soul, turning into a demon in his mind. He won, our junior master won. I can't even imagine how strong our junior master is. Prince Qilin ain't nothin'. Junior master wasn't lyin', that the members of Xianjian Dongtian were ecstatic, a sword from the east that breaks the sky, casually taking an enemy's arm, who else could pull that off? And the old man hiding in the distance was pale, frozen stiff, unable to move. Tang Chen, don't get cocky, Ao Hongchen snapped out of his trance, glaring at Tang Chen. I lost this time, but that doesn't mean Xianjian Dongtian defeated Wu Tu. My royal brother, Ao Tsangtian, will crush you. Ao Hongchen's spirit was broken, replaced with a demon. His life was as good as over, so, he could only place his hopes on Ao Tsangtian. Oh, whatever makes you happy. But I'm curious, how are you going to tell Ao Tsangtian all this? In a dream, Tang Chen smirked, the black Xianxian sword hummed in his hand, hungering to taste the enemy's blood. Ao Hongchen's face turned ashen, a primal fear washed over him, as if a predator was stalking him. Ignoring his wounds, he scrambled back, shouting, Tang Chen, you've won. What more do you want? To kill you, of course. Tang Chen smiled, the hum of the sword rose again, a flash of light tore through the sky, heading straight for Ao Hongchen's head. Strictly speaking, Tang Chen plans to not only kill Ao Hongchen, but also extract the Qilin blood from his body. With the help of the blood, Tang Chen can accelerate the cultivation of Xuanjiangxian, even without a 3-star practice acceleration card. The effect is even better. Tang Chen killed Ao Hongchen, that the crowd gasped. Ao Hongchen was the prince of Wu Tu, carrying Qilin blood. His high status is only eclipsed by the status of Wu Tu Prince Ao Tsangtian. If he is killed, Wu Tu will never let it go, the East Wasteland will erupt into chaos. Chapter 29 I am weak but I am right, the death of the Qilin prince. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 29, I'm not weak, but I have my reasons, the Qilin emperor bites the dust. Humph, just as Tang Chen moved, a cold snort cut through the air, the sound rattled everything. To everyone's surprise, a dark crack appeared, and an old man in gray stepped out. He looked unremarkable, but the power radiating from him made everyone tremble. A real powerhouse, someone gasped. In the eastern wilderness, a Zhenren was as good as it got. They could trigger a disaster with the wave of a hand, incredibly powerful. Even in Daedong, they were top tier. That looks like Master Tsongling, an elder from the Wutu kingdom. Bet he's Ao Hongchen's protector. The pieces fell into place. A peerless talent represented the sect's best hope. Guardians usually protected them during their cultivation. As the emperor of the Wutu kingdom, Ao Hongchen rated a Zhenren protector. Saved. Ao Hongchen sighed in relief when he saw the old man. He shot a venomous look at Tang Chen, daring to put him in a life-or-death situation in front of everyone. Utterly humiliating. He'd remember this grudge. Tang Chen would pay. A little sparring is one thing, but trying to kill someone is too much. For Xianjian Cave's sake, I'll let it slide. The old man looked down at Tang Chen, all condescension. With that, he turned to take Ao Hongchen away. Honestly, he was furious. Tang Chen had broken Ao Hongchen's spirit and triggered inner demons. If he could, he would crush Tang Chen like a bug, but this was Xuanjianling Mountain. Even the leader of the Wutu kingdom would have trouble taking Tang Chen's life here. Can't let him live. Need to find a way to take him out. The old man glared at Tang Chen, already plotting. Think you can just waltz in and out as you please. Just when everyone thought it was over, Tang Chen spoke. The old man stopped in his tracks. Tang Chen stared him down, a cold smile playing on his lips. What did you say? The old man's eyes went cold, and nobody dared to talk to him like that. Ao Hongchen challenged me. I'm the host, he's the guest. You just want to leave without a word from me? Seems kinda rude, don't you think? Tang Chen stood tall, unafraid. His words crackled with power. What do you want? The old man couldn't read Tang Chen. I want to kill him, Tang Chen said clearly. How dare you? The old man roared, shocked, but before he could say more, Tang Chen went on. In the past few days, Ao Hongchen challenged Xianjian Cave's territories in 50 locations, leaving 43 injured and 10 dead. When he was about to kill you, you didn't say a word. Now that he's losing, suddenly you're all about the rules. You making this up as you go? Ao Hongchen dies today, and nobody can stop me. Silence. The old man was speechless, the crowd was stunned. Chang Lao was a Zhenren, a mountain-leveling powerhouse. Tang Chen dared to curse him to his face. That was intense. The Xianjian cave people were ecstatic. Ao Hongchen started this, using Yi Qingrou as an excuse to mess with Tang Chen. He deliberately stirred up chaos and panic. Now that he'd lost, he was pulling the poor me card. No way. Tang Chen's words hit the spot. If you can't even defend yourself, then you deserve to die. Tang Chen tightened his grip on the black mysterious immortal sword. He stepped forward, and 1,000 sword lights flickered in the air. They locked onto Ao Hongchen. Fine, you want to kill Ao Hongchen, you'll have to go through me first. The old man was beyond angry. He'd teach this punk a lesson. Buzz, star, intense spiritual light blazed, tens of thousands of runes flashed on the old man's body, an overbearing power erupted, sending Tang Chen flying, but as soon as it left his body, it froze in mid-air. The old man pushed, but nothing happened. It was like an invisible hand was holding it tight, stopping it cold. Ancestor Chunyang. The old man glared towards the back of the crowd. Only Ancestor Chunyang could suppress him that silently. Meanwhile, without Sang Lao's interference, Tang Chen was in front of Ao Hongchen. The black mysterious immortal sword whistled, the blade flashed, piercing Ao Hongchen's chest. Splat, star. Ao Hongchen coughed up blood, and bits of internal organs. Death washed over him. I can't believe it. Ao Hongchen stared at Tang Chen, a mix of anger, shock, regret, and disbelief in his eyes. He regretted coming to Xianjian Lingshan, he regretted meeting Tang Chen. Without this, he'd still be the Qilin Emperor, enjoying all the glory. But there were no do-overs. It was over. Ao Hongchen's breath hitched, and his eyes went blank. The Qilin Emperor had fallen. You beast! Seeing Ao Hongchen die, Sang Lao finally lost it. Violent pressure surged, shaking the world, triggering a quake. Everyone felt their legs go weak, but they didn't worry too much. Sang Lao was just venting. This was Xianjian Lingshan. Xianjian Cave's leadership was here. Even if Tsang Lingzhenren was strong, he wouldn't dare touch Tang Chen. Before they could finish the thought, reality punched them in the face. Sang Lao's runes exploded with light. The light condensed into killing attacks, tearing through the sky and blasting towards Tang Chen. Chapter 30 Sword Slashing Immortal. You just covet my Qilin blood. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Crazy, Master Tsang Ling is totally out of his mind. And he's a senior. This stunt right here could kick off a life-or-death brawl between Xianjian Cave and the Wutu Ancient Kingdom. A big shot like that, letting anger get the best of him. He's lost it. Everyone's jaws dropped at the scene. The younger guys were rubbing their eyes, thinking they were seeing things. Actually, it wasn't just the crowd that was ticked off, even the old guy himself was shocked, his face a mask of disbelief. Did I do that? What the heck just happened? I didn't do a thing. The old man's mind was spinning. Sure, he was steamed when Ao Hongchen bit the dust, but like everyone else figured, he was just spitting mad. He wouldn't dare lay a finger on Tang Chen, but no sooner had he finished his rant than those runes all over him went rogue and automatically blasted at Tang Chen. Is this place haunted? Boom! The killer move, packed with raw power, slammed towards Tang Chen. Everything was cracking, and the air was boiling. Some of the weaker cultivators were so scared they fainted right there. Tang Chen, though, stood there cool as a cucumber, hands behind his back. His handsome face was unflinching. He acted as if he wasn't facing some East Wilderness big shot, but just some random grumpy old geezer. Just when that crazy attack was about to engulf Tang Chen, a booming voice cut through the sky. A second-rate nobody dares to mess with my disciple in front of me. Poof. A blazing sword burst into being. The sword light swept across the sky like a sun falling from the sky, scorching the air. The attack aimed at Tang Chen was gone in a heartbeat, just a puff of smoke. But that's not all. The crowd saw a head fly. Blood shot everywhere. staining the air red. That's the old man's head, a shaky voice whispered from the crowd. That sword didn't just wipe out the old man's attack, it took his head off, too. One swing, one head gone. The crowd felt like they were spinning. That was one wicked sword, it probably could tear you apart. Pure young ancestor, it's you, so it was you. The old man still had a shred of awareness, and he croaked in realization, that attack on Tang Chen wasn't the old man's doing, pure young ancestor was pulling the strings. That way, pure young ancestor could step in with an excuse. Shut it, pure young ancestor cut off Tsang Lao's words. Immediately, a surge of power slammed down, crushing the old man's head and body, poof. It rained blood, the old man's head and body were smashed to goo, dead as dead can be. After Ao Hongchen, Master Tsang Ling was done for. The place went stone-cold silent. The crowd, including the people from Xianjian Cave, was over 100,000 strong, and they were all frozen in place. For just 10 seconds, it had been non-stop drama. First, Ao Hongchen gets offed by Tang Chen. Then, the old man goes after Tang Chen in a rage. Finally, pure young ancestor lops off a real person. Any one of those things would be shocking on its own, and they all happened at once. Some people felt like they were about to pass out from the craziness. People say Xianjian Cave's been held down by the Wutu ancient kingdom. Looks like that's just talk. Master Tsang Ling was a seasoned pro. But pure young ancestor just took him out with one sword. What level is he at? Rumor has it, pure young ancestor survived the tribulation before going into hibernation. People were whispering, buzzing with awe, that Xianjian Cave was the best swordsmanship in the East Wilderness. Total BS, pure young ancestor liked what he was hearing. He turned to Master Xuejian and said, "It's all yours." Then, pure young ancestor looked at Tang Chen. "Good disciple, come with me." "Yes, master." Tang Chen nodded. He gave Ao Hongchen's corpse one last look, then put away the black mysterious immortal sword and turned back into his otherworldly self. That quick change caught a lot of eyes, especially the ladies. They always get hot and bothered. He's smooth and gentle when he's polite, but a total badass when he fights. That's my type. Wait, my junior uncle just smiled at me. Does he like me? Dream on. He was smiling at me. That the women started arguing like crazy. Sure, they were freaked out that pure young ancestor stepped in, but after the initial shock, they were just obsessed. They couldn't get enough of Tang Chen. Up in the attic, Tang Chen and pure young ancestor sat facing each other. It was quiet, far away from the gate, far from the noise. Ao Hongchen was the Wutu kingdom's favorite prince. Offing him is going to stir up trouble. Pure young ancestor fiddled with the tea set, poured Tang Chen a cup, and said casually, "I messed up, master." Tang Chen nodded, admitting his mistake. Then, he said indignantly, "If you want to blame someone, blame Ao Hongchen for being a jerk and trying to use our Xianjian Cave to get ahead. I lost my temper, that's why I offed him." Tang Chen beat his chest and stomped his feet like some hot-headed young buck. "Really?" Pure young ancestor smirked. "Or were you just hungry for his Qilin blood?" Tui. Tang Chen spat out tea. "This tea's too hot, master, drink slow. By the way, what was that?" "The wind was too loud, I didn't catch it." Tang Chen laughed awkwardly, trying to play it off. Pure young ancestor chuckled, like he knew all along. "I'm not trying to blame you. Actually, I'm happy with how you handled it." Tang Chen's eyes narrowed. Pure young ancestor kept going. "Ao Hongchen was trying to ruin you, 100%. Every move was a kill shot, no holding back. He was gunning for you, so if you let him live, you'd be a wimp. So why'd you say it was going to be trouble?" Tang Chen raised an eyebrow. He really thought pure young ancestor was going to lay down the law. "Ao Hongchen died on Xianjian land. The Wutu ancient kingdom will be ticked, for sure. Trouble's coming, but it's just trouble. The Wutu ancient kingdom's been building up its strength lately. I see it all. But our Xianjian Cave's been around for thousands of years, and we're no pushovers. They wouldn't dare to pull anything, even if they were 10 times bolder. And if they do try to make trouble, we'll fight. If it's a war, then rivers of blood will flow, and there'll be corpses for miles. Pure young ancestor sipped his tea, his voice steady. Tang Chen sighed, using the calmest tone to say the most brutal things. Pure young ancestor, cruel dude, cruel words. He hadn't picked the wrong master. He was taking notes.